The word get is a verb. The dictionary defines it as receiving or having possession, use, or enjoyment of, coming to a specified place, arriving, reaching, and lastly, to succeed, to become enabled, or to be permitted. So with all that said, did you get it? Good. Welcome to Get the Podcast.
You better get it while the getting's good. It won't be long until I'm gone in all likelihood. Misinformed is an excuse, be the engine that could. I know my roots, I know my rights, and still misunderstood. I'm getting to it.
Hey, what's up, people? It's your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC. And Get the Pod is a micro pod where I give my 2 cents, a couple quarters, and a few dollars on some hot button issues in not only the Black community, but the overall global community. All of the episodes will be under 20 minutes with the goal of, hopefully, getting you to the point of fruitful and meaningful conversations with those in your immediate friend groups and circles. So, you got it now?
Yep.
You get it yet?
Think so.
Good. Let's go. Yo, what's up, overthinkers? Continuing my theses? I don't know. Continuing my thoughts, neighbors, on divinity and science and dimension and all of the things. We're going to talk about Jesus today. First of all, let's be clear. Jesus ain't real, right? Well, let me digress. Because we shooting straight out the gate today. Straight out the gate. We pulled out the gun, we fired. Yeah, Jesus wasn't real. There's more evidence to support or disprove the evidence of Jesus than there is to prove the evidence of Jesus. One of the most important things, and one of the most obvious things being that Jesus Christ is arguably the biggest, largest superstar on the planet. So how the fuck can nobody tell me what the fuck did he look like? There are 80 different iterations of Jesus, what he looked like, how he appeared, what he did, all of these things. Jesus wasn't real. He's an idea, right? And so I liken Jesus to my wonderful, wonderful boyfriend has said to me that Jesus was a revolutionary, right? And so if we think about what that means, it means to me that when I think about what Jesus would have been, would be something similar to the way that we say BLM or Black Lives Matter. When we say Black Lives Matter, we're not talking about one specific Black life, male, female, or in between or not identifying. We're talking about all of them, right? So to me, Jesus would have been an ideal. Jesus would have been a group of people. Jesus would have been an entity that stands to the fists of oppression of the state, which has been at the time the Roman Catholic Empire. Because again, Jesus was a Black man killed by police and prosecuted unjustly by the state. So that's the first thing. Let's just get that out the gate. Now, I said Jesus didn't exist. If we believe in the theory of consciousness and the string of consciousness that exists throughout all human beings and humanity, throughout the globe, we can safely say that Jesus does, however, exist now, and that he looks different to different people, i.e., ergo circa, alluding to Neil Gaiman's interpretation of Jesus on American Gods. Jesus Christ. It's a wonderful book. I suggest you read it. Only watch the first season because the producers are really, really racist and tried to tell Orlando Bloom that he doesn't know how Black people would actually be, even though Orlando Bloom is a Black man in America and has been his entire life. Digression. What I'm saying is Jesus now probably exists because many humans believe in the fact that Jesus exists. And the way that humans and humanity work is that the things that we oftentimes believe in or want, we manifest, good, bad, indifferent. However, he did not exist the way people think that he existed, if at all, in the time period that people say that he did. That's the second thing. The third thing is, if Jesus does exist now, then yes, he would be a 5-dimensional being, a being that is able to simultaneously interact with different versions of himself in multiverse form or fashion. If you're not familiar with the theory on dimensions, there's a wonderful video done by a highly intelligent Indian gentleman that I will link in my show notes. But I think once you watch it, maybe you might need to watch it a couple times, depending on how open-minded or quickly you catch on to certain esoteric and, abstract ideals that are actually scientific fact, but some of it's fact anything past the 5D is kind of theoretical, but again, digression. But yes, Jesus would have been a fifth dimensional being that would be able to coexist, because we all coexist in the multiverse. He would be able to communicate with different versions of himself across different timelines or universes, right? So essentially, that's where we get the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit thing. Jesus would have been a person that would be able to, Jesus would have been a being, because when you do stuff like that, I don't think you're a person anymore. Jesus would have been a being that would have been able to communicate with different versions of himself across space and time at the same time, right? A collective consciousness, if you will, of one's own consciousness, right? They're only varied. So yeah, that's a mind fuck. You guys can rewind and listen to it again, but suffice it to say, Jesus wasn't real. Jesus wasn't real. Now, one could argue the existence of Jesus currently, presently, today, because of the amount of humans and people and psyche and energy and consciousness that goes into creating the visage of Jesus. But then we have to also bear in mind that Jesus would not look the way that any one person thinks that he would, because each one has every human that believes in Jesus or believes in the idea of Jesus would create Jesus in his own image, which would mean that everybody has their own personal Jesus. It's a saying that a lot of people say in church. It's churchy, it's cute, but it's actually factual. Every human being would have their own personal idea of what Jesus would look like. And all of those separate different forms of himself in different timelines would equate to him being one single solitary consciousness that is 5-dimensional. I just dropped a lot of knowledge in a little bit of time. Get the Podcast is a production from the OVT Network, with original artwork by Kenzo Sturdivant and original music by Sincerely Blue. The podcast is hosted and edited by me, your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC. If you found value in anything I've said here today, please subscribe, like, share, and comment on YouTube or Instagram at the OVT Network. You can also connect with me, JC, on IG at JC from the OVT. Got to keep it simple, right? Don't forget to rate us 5 stars and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever your podcasts are casted. And lastly, did you know that if you share this podcast with just one person, we would double in size the community? So, with that being said, get to sharing, goddammit. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you listening. Peace.